Mr. McDermott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I ask unanimous consent that a article written by Mr. Paul Krugman called "The Excel Depression" on 18 April of this year be entered into the record.
Without objection.
Mr. Chairman, as I listen to these arguments and look around this room, I think I'm in the theater of the absurd. That's all I can think about is how much time we've spent in this room and others in this building listening to budget histrionics. Every program that helps people has to be cut, and every investment is too expensive because nothing is sacred when we worship at the altar of the deficit crisis. And now the basis of the hysteria, the one study that the debt hawks have been peddling as proof of our impending economic doom, has been entirely discredited by a doctoral student. In addition to some strange methods and selective data, the Reinhardt and Rogoff's findings from Harvard, of all places, that debt can slow growth were missing something very important. Rows 45 through 49 on their Excel spreadsheet were left out. In other words, the entire austerity debate has been based on one huge coding error. Read Mr. Krugman's article. And now we have another comedy of errors on the Ways and Means Committee. We're all debating not if, but how the United States ought to default on some of its debts. We're going to save Wall Street. We don't want Wall Street to be upset, but the rest of the country, we'll see what happens to them because they're not in this bill. Now, in August of 2011, it shouldn't be any hard for anybody on this committee to remember that. 2 years ago, Republicans brought us within days of default. It caused the worst period of job growth in years. It was a disaster, and America got nothing out of it but a downgraded credit rating. And now we're talking about doing it again? We're seriously being asked to consider legislation that would say it's okay to pay private bond holders, but kids in Head Start, seniors on Medicare, a generation of new vets coming home from war with injuries or who have been promised education, we can break our financial commitments to those people. Here's an idea. Why don't we pay all our bills? I mean, isn't that what an American family does? Aren't we being told we have to balance our books like an American family? Do Americans get to sit at home, rack up their debt, and then decide not to pay it? No one I know would default if they had a choice, and we do have a choice. In this committee, we have a choice. No one, no respected professional working in economics or in the financial market thinks that the default of any kind is good for the economy. The mainstream prediction is that any kind of default will cause a 1/3 drop in our GDP. Interest rates will skyrocket. Our international reputation as a reserve currency will be irreparably damaged. Europeans keep asking me when I meet them, what are you doing over there? How can you expect us to rely on the dollar? The American people have made it clear what they want us to do. We could be talking about immigration or guns or, better yet, job creation. Americans want an end to this economic slog, and economists agree. The only crisis we have is a job crisis. If we had more jobs, more people working, paying taxes, there would be less debt. Everybody knows. It's a very simple, you don't have to take calculus or differential equations to understand that. That's simple math. And where are the endless hearings about how to fix the job problem? Instead, the Republicans are going to drive us to the edge of the cliff again. More standoffs, more brinksmanship, and another chaotic August. Get ready, folks. This is going to test America's good credit again. We have the lowest tax revenue in 60 years, but they tell us they want to cut us more. We have the most extreme income inequality in our histories, but they tell us we should get rid of the safety net. They tell us we can't afford to invest in our current or future economy, and they will hold our credit hostage to get that way. All in the name of a phony budget crisis from a flawed study from Harvard. Now, I'm not interested in marking up this bill. I'm going to go down to the Ways and Means Committee where we're going to have a hearing on the whole question of transportation, where we have serious lacks of investment. I'm interested in throwing this bill away. America should pay all its bills.
All right. Mr. Ryan.